Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, That Creepy Reading, and today I've got something for you guys. I'm going to be reacting to a reaction. Basically, I'm going to be going through this entire video, and I'm going to be dissecting it part by part. However, anything that seems irrelevant or too iterative, I'm just going to be cutting out in the editing phase. But yeah, basically this person does a lot of mental gymnastics and kind of misinforms a lot of people on YouTube about what it actually is supposed to be. So if you would please indulge me, I would love it if you guys, just you guys, would please just sit back, indulge me, and if I seem overly mad, just understand that I am also trying to make this entertaining and there are some brain cells being killed here, so I have a reason to be pissed off. Because, oh my god, the mental gymnastics in this video are awful. I would also like to quickly mention Becky Boop, which is the name of this YouTuber. I have nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with you. And if you happen to see this video, please, I really don't mean any offense against you. I do honestly get the feeling that you are trying to present a honest case, and I think that you're trying to do the right thing, but in trying to do that and trying to do these mental gymnastics, you simply fail at every, and I mean every point. There's maybe one good point you make in this video, but I have nothing against you. I have everything against this opinion. So, I love you. I'm going to give you a hug now. And that's right, I'm talking about GradeAUnderA because I want to tweak his nipples.
The controversy around reaction channels hasn't ended after the Fine brothers. In fact, it's just getting started. GradeAUnderA, one of the large critical channels on YouTube, has decided to go after the reaction community and in particular focus on Tyrone Magnus, one of the largest reaction channels, in GradeA's latest video that he just...
Alright, first off, I would like to quickly just kind of talk about this point here. Number one, I have to say that he's been attacking reactionists a lot longer than the Fine Bros have been doing their thing. The Fine Bros and these reactionists should really be put into two separate camps. And why are they different? Well, let me explain. Comparing Tyrone to the Fine Bros is like comparing a RPG to a first-person shooter that's been on early access and has zombies in it. It's just, they're just not the same thing. They're both video games, yes. By the most rudimentary terms, they are video games. And by the most rudimentary, and I really mean rudimentary, like at the very root, they are barely reaction channels. So, with that being said, why don't I kind of just play a little bit more, because it's been 21 seconds, and I already feel like I've lost maybe 20 brain cells.
It's released. But is what GradeAUnderA said accurate? I'll take a look at it here. Boo-boo-ba-doo.
Oh, okay. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. What the fuck is that? What? Come on. Come on, I thought we were past Reply Girl. I thought we were done with this. Oh, no. Oh, no. Alright, when I first watched this for the first time, by the way, I have seen this video before. When I watched this for the first time, and I watched this with my buddy Blame It on George here, I kind of, well, first off, her older thumbnails have this kind of continuous trend of using her cleavage in a lot of the shots, and I really don't like how she uses the cleavage in a lot of the shots. It's just... And now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with using boobs on a channel. What I am saying is, though, when you show off your breasts for basically no reason and it has nothing to do with the content, it makes you seem very unprofessional. That's why what if I were to just start using tits with my creepypastas? You guys would probably start thinking that I was trying to appeal to a younger, kind of haven't discovered Pornhub audience, and that's why this type of thing is generally frowned upon. It's nothing to do with girls having boobs. It's because they are trying to use it to get subs, and this is a reoccurring theme. But I will have to give her this. Before you start attacking her or anything like that. Her more recent videos don't use it, but her older ones did, and to a heavy degree.
Boo-boo-ba-doo. It and representing what he said in a way that might not be entirely accurate. So Grade, I know you addressed in this video that you have a problem with people using your footage, but to clarify, I'm doing this under fair use in order to...
Alright, first off, I kind of watched this video already, and I kind of jumped the gun. You may have noticed a little bit of a jump cut back there, but basically, she doesn't quite understand what fair use is and why Grade A has an issue with people using his footage. It's not people using his footage he has an issue with. It's people re-uploading his entire video without making any edits whatsoever at all to his content. That's what he has an issue with. And why he doesn't give people permission to react to things is because he doesn't like the community as a whole, and he doesn't want to be a part of the little trap that they try to get into. Because, again, he feels it's a kind of a scam, and he'd rather have people come to his channel for his content. Now, again, your video, I would argue, is fair use. This video right here is fair use, and it has every right to exist as... No matter how misinformed it is, it has the right to exist, and it is fair use, as does my video. I'm fucking responding to a response. God, I should kill myself. Let's continue.
Report the news in a timely manner and in a form where I'm giving criticism and educational commentary. Now, the link to GradeAUnderA's original video is in the description, so if you are not interested in hearing my commentary, please go view the full video yourself. All right.
Alright, one thing I'd also like to mention, in order to properly enjoy my commentary, I would really recommend you go watch her video for yourself. I'm going to be pausing a lot, and I'm going to be responding a lot, and I'm going to be cutting the video up. So, if you guys really want to understand all of her points she makes, I would really recommend you go watch her video, and then come back to mine. I'll have the video linked in the description, and I'll also have the channel linked in the description. Again, I don't really like her channel. I don't think you should subscribe, and my, Slifer, the fucking Sky Dragon, would also like you not to. I wouldn't really recommend subscribing. Again, she is so misinformed, and she does so little research that it's not even funny, and she tries to call this news. But if you want to see her stuff, it's linked down below, and you could really learn her point of view a lot better by watching her video without my opinion obscuring it every few seconds. So, again, use of this webcam.
Let's jump in.
But here's the thing, right? This affects literally everyone who makes any type of video on YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. Issues around copyright and copyright abuse on YouTube are massive, and it affects everyone, not just YouTubers, but the people watching their videos.
Why is it not seen as shitty when reaction channels steal people's entire videos on YouTube?
That would be because of fair...
Okay, first off, she's gonna say here that it's because of fair use. Now, reaction channels like the Fine Bros get around this by providing more commentary than they do of the actual video. They splice the video up, and they only show the bits they react to. In fact, H3H3 Productions does this too. They show a lot more of the video, but his reactions are what make it, and he also edits the video quite a bit. So that's what makes it fair use. And I would also like to say that fair use isn't what she really thinks it is. Fair use isn't this criteria that you could just magically achieve by doing... Basically, fair use is this saying that your video can be declared by a court of law. When you say that your video is fair use, it isn't fair use until a judge presides it fair use, because a lot of things go into making something fair use. For example, if some people think that if you're making money off of a video, that it's simply not fair use, but that is incorrect. If you are transforming it and making it into something new, and a lot of that new stuff is, well, why the people are coming to watch the video, then it's fair use. But if you're not making money off of something and you're really just showing it to get an educational point across, then that might be considered fair use. There are so many criteria that go into deciding it that it's hard to say. You can't, there's no presiding factors that just make something fair use or make it not fair use. And that's the main point I would like to drive across. A lot of content creators say, my video is fair use, but you have to have it go to court for it to be declared fair use. And fair use is more of a, like, I would have to say a defense, as opposed to a state where your video automatically is just by clicking off a little checklist here, checklist there, you know, that's just not how it works.
Use, and depending on how the videos are used, it determines whether or not it is actually theft of copyrighted content.
We've all seen, thanks to the Farm Brothers, reaction channels are the scum of YouTube.
Okay, just because the Fine Brothers made a mistake doesn't mean that all reaction channels are horrible. In fact,
I would also agree with that, except he's not really referring to all reaction channels. He's referring to reaction channels that re-upload videos in their entirety. You see the point that's being made? Their entirety. Meaning that, you know, I would say that the Fine Bros is technically fair use, but again, the Fine Bros are shit because they tried to copyright a nebulous term. And they're not shitty reactors, they are shitty people. And that's why people don't like them, because they are magically shitty.
Before this whole Fine Brothers fiasco, everybody pointed to the Fine Brothers as the pinnacle of what reaction channels should be. You are saying that reaction channels are the scum of YouTube as if that's a fact. Who are you to decide? Now, I don't...
You know what an opinion is, right? So, when someone says that, you know, they're the shittiest people on YouTube, they're saying that as their own opinion, and quite frankly, a lot of people agree with that opinion, and that's the audience he is preaching to, the people who agree with the opinion that, again, reaction channels are the shittiest thing ever. I actually really hate your choice of words. Who are you to decide that all of these reaction channels are shit? You cannot do that. It requires a jury of at least 15 puppies and 1 kitten who is diabetic. I don't fucking know. Fuck it, on to the video.
I mean this is a personal jab, but I'm going to use your work as an example. There are animators out there who would say that your work is the scum of YouTube and you don't put as much time into your drawings and your style as animators with higher production value. They would say that your content takes less effort to produce, just like reaction channels take less effort to produce. Now don't get...
All right. She kind of fucked up what she was trying to say there. You see, there's a difference between reaction channels and animation. First off, to compare his channel to an animation channel is stupid because he doesn't do animation. Animation requires more moving parts. There is no moving parts here. It's really just, you know, pictures being played in sequence that kind of change on occasion. It's really the equivalent of using a bunch of stock photos to convey something. But that being said, people don't really come for his animations, and no animator is going to be jealous of what he does. He's not known for animations, he is known for his opinion, and he uses the animations to display said opinion. Now, I would really compare him more to, I would say, I Hate Everything, and you could say that I Hate Everything puts a lot more work into his videos, but, again, people like him for his personality. The reason why reaction channels are treated differently than, say, a GradeAUnderA is because reaction channels actively rely on other people's content in order to get a message across. You see, people don't go to Tyrone's channel because of his personality. It's because he is able to upload 7 reactions a day and then have that reaction channel be the one-stop shop of videos that you need to go to. He's reacted to everything from fucking PewDiePie to, you know, just other animators around the internet. And because of that, they are able to go to his channel, and instead of finding these content creators, which, let's face it, are a little hard to find because YouTube algorithm sucks, they are able to just generally generate a little bit more, you know, views.
Don't get me wrong, I freaking love the videos on your channel, but do you see where I'm coming from?
No one sees where you're coming from. That's why you have 6,000 dislikes.
There are also people who love that reaction content.
The biggest problem with these new reaction channels is that they're not going out of their way to ask permission from the uploader of the original video if they have permission to react.
Under fair
Actually, before she goes into this, because she does a terrible job of explaining why this argument's bad, it's because, well, when something's fair use, you don't need to ask for permission. But here's the issue. He doesn't make the distinction for people generally re-uploading his content and reactionists like Jinx, but instead he just kind of says all reactors. A lot of reactors do fall into fair use. The ones that are good, like H3 Productions, he's like the only one I know, and I love his shit. But other reactors like Jinx generally don't react to something. They really just re-upload the video and put his face on it. He's basically SoFlo Antonio! So that when he says, you know, they aren't asking permission, they're basically mad because people are generally re-uploading their content. And that's the issue. She seems to think that people like Tyrone Magnus are fair use. No, they are not. And I kind of wish that my brain cells weren't dying. I wish that I could just cut off my pinky toe and be done with it, but I can't because I got a dog back there off camera, Pookie, who has pain in his mouth, and I have to make a video.
specific video he has in mind, only 7 words of commentary or criticism were given. And does that really count as commentary? Tyrone Magnus, who will be coming up later in the video, his defense to this is saying that 90% of all communication is nonverbal, so he's still giving commentary by a silent reaction via his body.
Alright, first off, we're gonna go use the little thing here. There's no such thing as a silent reaction, but basically what you need to understand is that a reaction is really any action performed or a feeling or experience in response to an event or situation. Basically, a reaction is a response. It's some sort of thing happening. It's something. It can't be nothing by definition. You see, because he's not making any nonverbal communication. He's doing nothing. And that's the big difference here. If he was watching a video and going like, or stuff like that, that would be a reaction. But he does this. That's not a reaction. That is just a blank stare. That is technically, like, you know, nothing. All right, so let me just quickly...
language. We're going to take a closer look at that coming up.
Reaction channels always say that they make no money, right?
I don't get that much money from reactions. What do people not understand?
The biggest issue you guys have is how successful we are and how little effort we are to get to that success. You should actually applaud us for that. You should be like, congratulations, man. All you do is just react to videos and you make this much money? Like...
So if reaction videos make no money, then why is this guy boasting about how much money he makes reacting?
Okay, first of all, fair point. He just made reactors look pretty terrible and full of...
He made reactors look pretty terrible. No, he makes the same type of content as Tyrone and these other people, but they aren't, again, he's basically directly contradicting them and making them look like liars. And that's the key point here. He makes them look like they are lying intentionally so that people won't come after them. Well, you see, it's contradictory. It's not, he makes, oh man, he just put all those reactors into place. He's a single reason why all... No, he makes them, he proves the point that they're fucking lying.
Hubris. Anytime there is a loophole, people are going to take advantage of it, which is why the system needs to be fixed. And
Just because someone takes advantage of a loophole does not mean that we should excuse them for taking advantage of said oh my god, look at that fucking face I paused on. I'm sorry, this is fucking hilarious to me. But, okay, nonetheless, just because someone is able to take advantage of a loophole, we should not applaud them for taking advantage of a loophole. We should be disgusted with them for taking advantage of a loophole, especially a loophole that involves stealing other people's content and uploading as much as they physically can. That is fucking horseshit. Just because there's a loophole doesn't mean we should be okay with them exploiting it until it's fixed. It means that we should be calling them out and trying to police ourselves until it gets fixed. And that's all you can really do.
Frankly, finding a way this foolproof to be able to take advantage of YouTube's algorithms is brilliant. The last time we've seen a group be able to take advantage of YouTube's algorithms to this extent was probably Reply Girls back.
And no one liked Reply Girls. They were the scum of YouTube who basically took advantage of using cleavage in thumbnails to abuse the system. That isn't something you applaud. That isn't something to be happy for. That's something you should be calling out and trying to police as a community. That's why people call them out.
Around 2012. But there is something extremely important I want to mention here. Extremely important. And for this, I'm going to show you proof of my own earnings because I was doing reaction content on this channel. Let me
I'm actually going to be showing you my earnings in response to this, so be prepared for that. Not to mention, her channel is not going to be representative, and just wait until you see it.
Show you. Here are my earnings. Yes, I am actually showing you how much I made per view on YouTube, and we are going to focus on ad earnings. I have 2 YouTube channels. This is for my reaction channel. Notice that for the last 28 days, I've had 234,000 views, yet have only made 86 cents.
All right. Now, here's where we are going to call some horseshit. All right? Horseshit. Because that's the key word here. She made $14 here, right? $14 in total. And she did so in only the past month. But here's the thing that you guys should take into consideration. She's only been around for 1 fucking month. First off, the ads on her videos probably haven't kicked in right, or she hasn't monetized every single video she's done. A lot of her videos probably got content ID'd, and doing so made it impossible to monetize them. What I see and what I think happened here is that her bigger videos were unable to be monetized, therefore she has 214,000 views but is unable to do it. Not to mention $13 for 200,000 views. That isn't representative of really any channel. That is like her CPM must be like 0.002, and that's just not gonna make sense. You see, let me show you my channel, which, you know, I already prepared for you. I've basically made, let me edit here my scene so you guys can see this, but I've made about $1,000 in the past month or so. And as you can see, it's, you know, it's my network's going to be taking about 30% of that 1,000, and I'm not going to be receiving all of that. However, you should notice that the amount of views I made is kind of, you know, similar to what she made. If you look at my overview, I made about 219,000 views, which is a little bit less than her, but significantly more than her, so to speak. And I would like to quickly mention that 219,000 views usually doesn't generate this amount of money. And you know what actually does generate money on YouTube? For example, if I produce a video that makes 10,000 views, and I produce, like, say, 3 videos a week, you're gonna get a CPM that's similar to mine. But if you produce 7 videos that in total make 10,000 views, you're gonna be making a lot less money per view off of those videos. And the reason why is because when advertisers see a popular video, they generally pay more to have their video, or at least their ad, placed on said video. It basically associates their product with a more pleasant experience, which generally leads to a higher CPM. The reason why her channel's down is because she's been around for a fucking month. I don't think she has a network, and she doesn't get any ad buys. Not to mention, I don't think a lot of her stuff is monetized, because $13 fucking off of 219,000 views for $250,000 views? No, that is horseshit and unrepresentative of anyone's channel. I know some people on YouTube who make more than me off of the same amount of views because their videos generate more views and I have to make more videos to achieve the same thing. The more a video is viewed, the more money it makes, and that's just generally how it works on YouTube. Now you guys might be saying, but creepy, that's just proving her point. I can tell you that I have some inside information. I can't really tell you who gave this to me because I'm technically not supposed to know this, but there's a guy in my network who's a reactionist and who is a popular reactionist. I'm not going to say who he is, but he has maybe about 700,000 subscribers, and he makes a lot of money. He produces about 7 videos a day doing reactions, and each of those reactions get anywhere from 70,000 to 100,000 views per video, which is similar to Jinx, but, you know, to a lesser extent. And he made enough money in December to buy several houses that are worth over $100,000. They made over $100,000 easily. I could probably prove it if I was given the statistics on it, but I know that. And I also know that on his streaming channel, he makes over $500 a day just streaming himself doing the reactions. So these reactionists are making a lot of money, and they are making bank, which is why people are pissed off. So let's just go back to the video before I kill myself because my toes itch.
6 cents for over 200,000 views. Let's take a look at my gaming channel for comparison. On my gaming channel, on just 100...
First off, your gaming, you may be noticing a little bit of a trend here. All of her money is going down because that was for the month of February. And the first month of the year after December is a month where all the CPM goes down. Advertisers are no longer interested in advertising. And that's just generally not representative of how much you make. You generally lose about half the revenue you make after December. So that's why you may be noticing that her statistics are simply going down and it's hurting just everybody. But that being said, her gaming channel has been around for quite a long time. Now let's quickly go on to her gaming channel. Alright, her gaming channel has been up for a long time, and what the fuck? Her gaming channel is called The Road to 40K? Really? Wow. But as you can tell, her videos, she's been around for several months. In fact, she's been around for over 5 months, even a year, and her videos are making money because they're all advertised and generally are not being, you know, non-advertised. But as you can see, she doesn't upload that often on the gaming channel, and on top of that, her gaming channel's been around for a year. So, again, comparing the two channels is not exactly fair, in my opinion. While I think it's not very, you know, fun and fair, I do think that she's not doing it. I don't think that it's coming out of a place of malice, really, but yeah.
75,000 views, I made over $90 in ad revenue. I made 100 times as much money on less views on my gaming channel.
Because it's been around longer and you have the ad revenue, you have all your videos to prove it, and you have multiple videos, and you have videos that have made more views than your gaming channel, sorry, than your reaction channel, and yeah, it's been around longer, it's been around for more than a fucking month.
And if anything, the views on my gaming channel are lower quality. They have lower retention on shorter videos. So while we don't...
Audience retention does not mean more money. Audience retention is simply something YouTube uses to determine how much they should be promoting you. The higher your audience retention, the more your video is going to be promoted. The lesser they're going to promote you. The more promotion you get, the more views you get, the more money you get. That's how it works.
I don't know the reasons why this is happening, although I do have an idea why, which I'll cover in another video. The bottom line is that reaction channels make less money than other genres on YouTube.
Actually, that's horseshit. Reaction channels are one of the most profitable channels on YouTube. According to my network manager, reaction channels produce the most amount of money, but are generally the highest risk for copyright issues. Because that's just what happens when you're a reaction channel. People get pissed off that you're stealing their content. Or they may not understand that you're stealing their content. But either way, a lot of these reaction channels are the most profitable because they have a high CPM due to the amount of videos they upload, due to the amount of views each video gets. Again, 70,000 views per 7 videos, 70,000 times 7, that's a big number, and that's a day, and that's not even counting the previous videos, which are still making views. So, reaction channels make a boatload of fucking money. I know that Jinx made over 30 million views in a single month. The average person can make maybe about $5,000 to, off of 2 million views. So 30 times 5, you get a pretty big number.
I reached out to YouTube to see if my channel is representative of other channels in this regard, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them. But they did say that the amount of earnings I'm making on this channel is normal. So evidence...
Did you hear the contradictory? Are you hearing the sounds of citation needed? Yes, I quoted Tildeer. Tildeer, I want to stroke your lovely deer bum. I don't know. You should get doxxed. Again. If you guys don't know the joke there, please don't get mad at me in the comments. Alright, first off, let's go back.
I reached out to YouTube to see if my channel...
You reached out to YouTube to see if your channel...
is representative of other channels in this regard.
Representative of other channels.
And I'm still waiting to hear back from them.
You're still waiting to hear back from them, alright.
But they did say that the amount of earnings I'm making on this channel is normal. So
okay, so you're waiting to hear back from them, but they also said that the amount of earnings you're making is normal. So they told you exactly what you wanted to know, except they didn't respond to you yet. You see where the contradiction here is? I think that you found a page that is trying to basically explain to you if it's okay or not. And you didn't really get a response from YouTube because YouTube would tell you that you're full of shit. And even so, let's just give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say YouTube actually did contact her and say that her ad earnings, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, that would make sense because she's been around for a fucking month. On my first month of YouTube, I made over, I think it was like 300,000 views, and I only made $60 because I didn't monetize right away, and I wasn't approved for monetization right away. And again, it was one of my biggest months on YouTube.
Evidence does point to the reacting genre making less money regardless of their view count.
You're fucking full of shit.
But great!
Fuck off.
Reactors put a lot of effort into their videos. Yep. No, you're right.
Now that's debatable. And before you're too shocked at me saying...
No, that isn't debatable. I can literally prove with valid evidence as a content creator that it's easier for someone to make a reaction than it is for someone to, again, make their own original work. Because when you're making a reaction, all you're doing is putting a video on, opening up your OBS, and watching the video. You are literally watching it. And they're not really reactions in that regard. They're more of a let's watch type of series. But no, even in that regard, it's easier to do so. Because when I make a top list for my channel, I have to write a script. I have to do all kinds of things. It takes me over 7, maybe 7 to 15 hours just to do all the research for a script, and then about another hour of recording, and then I have to wait for everyone to send me the lines, and I have to get with Blame It on George, and then we edit the video together, which can take up to 8 hours. I remember the last top list we did took us 12 hours of recording. We had to leave, eat dinner, come back, bring our drinks, and work overnight just so we could get it in on time. With a reaction video, all you're doing is sitting in front of your camera and watching a video, which doesn't take much effort or even really skill. Anyone can watch a video. Anyone.
Now, let me explain why. What does constitute a reaction exactly?
That is not the question he asked. You are misrepresenting the question he asked. The question he asked was, or rather, the statement he raised was, reaction channels don't take effort. They aren't a skill-based type of thing. They don't take effort, and they're easy to make. You change that statement, or responding to that statement, to what constitutes a reaction, which is completely different than what he was talking about. He was talking about the effort it takes to make it, and you're talking about what is the definition, which I will basically prove to you in a little bit.
Do you have to be talking or emoting to react, or does the...
Yes, you do. A reaction is any action performed or a feeling expressed in response to a situation or event. Now, this could be body language, and like you could even use sign language, like I don't even know what the fuck I did there. Probably said fuck you. Some guy's gonna unsubscribe. They gotta call me a faggot. I'm sorry, man. I want a real job. No, they're being mean to me. Apple juice. Apple juice. All fairness, a reaction is an actual point being made here. It is. It has to be a response. There has to be some sort of emotion or something being conveyed. A lack of a reaction is just that. It's the absence of one. You see, when you guys are like in a video, or like when you guys are watching a movie or playing a video game, I'm pretty sure your default expression is this. Yes, I'm touching your eyeballs. But in general, your default reaction is something a little bit different than what you might think. Your default reaction is usually you giving a blank stare, because in order to emote or really do anything, you have to contort your facial muscles and you have to actively work to do it. That's why while I'm making this video, my face is kind of hurting because I've been talking to myself for God knows how long. I probably should castrate a couple toes off and try to repent for my sin of actually showing my face despite being a creepypasta narrator. But in general, a lot of these reactors have to actually show a emotion of some kind in order to really convey anything. See, when you are being silent during it, you're giving the default position. And when you're giving the default position on something, that doesn't really say anything. If my face was blank during the entire point of this video, you guys would have a real big issue deciding if I was being comedic or if I was being kind of serious. But nonetheless, the default position doesn't tell you anything, because you might be happy or, you might be excited on the inside, but on the outward, you're just showing this. So, no, a silent reaction would be emoting something, but these people don't do it.
lack of a reaction actually indicate your level of engagement with the content you're watching and therefore constitute a reaction itself. At the end of the day, only a court can decide.
Reaction that Tyrone Magnus made to my video, with all his charisma, intellect, and comedy, guess how many words he said throughout? He literally said 7 words.
Alright, I'm gonna kind of skip this because she really doesn't, like, argue him at all.
himself and talk about how he does so much more than reacting.
I will admit that when I watched Tyrone's reaction to that video, I did wait all the way to the end to see what he had to say, and I was disappointed that he didn't have more commentary or criticism on the specific video itself. But
you're not understanding the point he's trying to make. Even though you were disappointed with the quality of the video he made, it's not fair use and it's downright content theft because he basically didn't add anything to the video. All he did was put his face in the top right corner and watch it. All he did was watch the video. And that's not adding anything to it. It's not transforming it. People aren't watching it because Tyrone Magnus watched it. People are watching it because...
that is just my opinion.
Even if someone's facial expression is blank for a moment or two, or longer, that shows you that at that moment they're not amused.
That's an argument to be...
That's an argument to be made. No, it's not. As you know, the only thing that a blank expression tells you is that they're not emoting, because the default expression is no expression. And when you're giving no expression, people are unable to tell if you're sad, happy, angry, or showing, or really anything about it. It doesn't even tell you if you're not engaged, because you could be completely engaged in the content. But when your medium is non-interactive like a YouTube video, it doesn't help your case whatsoever. The lack of a reaction is not a reaction, it's the default state in which you happen to be in while watching a YouTube video, or really any sort of non-interactive medium.
Made. If communication is nonverbal, does it still make a point? Because if it doesn't, then this satire video from Jack's films of Jack reacting to Jinx reacting to Jack isn't fair use, even if it's satire, because is...
Actually, first off, it would be fair use even if it was satire, because satire makes it fair use, or, you know, if it's satire done in a certain way. The second reason why this is fair use is because it's fair use by remix. You know why? Because the majority of the video and the majority of the content is the video in this like little quadrant right here. Watching, the majority of that is Jack's actual film. And what you can make the argument, I mean, again, it's majority of the content is Jack's original content, and I could make the argument that less than 10% of the actual video is being contributed to by Jinx. Most of it is, in fact, Jack. So, yeah, that actually would make it fair use. Remember how I said earlier that there's a lot of factors that actually go into making something fair use? Well, this is actually one of those factors. Satire could make it a fair use thing because he is simply mocking the person, and that might make it fair use. But on the other hand, most of the video is his own. First off, the majority of the video is right there. See that? That's mostly Jack's actual footage. Therefore, he's really just reacting to himself. And if he was reacting to Jinx, reacting to his own video, Jinx doesn't offer enough content for it to constitute more than 10% of the video. Therefore, it's technically fair use by remix. You see why fair use is such a tricky thing to put down? If you call it satire, then technically, it's fair use. Most of the content is his own content. It makes it fair use. By almost every definition of the term, this video probably would win in a court case for fair use.
What he did transformative if he didn't use words to do it. Now, I would argue that Jack's video clearly is satire, and he is making a point specifically by not speaking and by staring blankly at the screen the way he says that Jinx does. But if that...
You don't understand. He's also the person who made the video in the bottom left corner.
That's okay. Why is it okay when Jack does it, but not okay when Tyrone does it?
Last time
Because it's his own video.
I saw, he had over 300,000 views on that video, which equates to hundreds of dollars, alright?
But does it really?
Yes, it does. A video that I made in the past has generated over $800 in revenue on 400,000 views. I actually probably produced more than that, but 400,000 to 300,000 views on a channel with really high CPM would generate a shit ton of money, because as we know, each view adds to the profitability of a video. So if a video has 400,000 views, it makes a lot more, well, again, money off of every monetized view than a regular video does. So yes, it does.
There's 234,000 views, and it
234,000 views off of multiple different videos that haven't been approved for monetization. God, I want to use insults here, but my brain cells are dying and I forgot how to say fuck. Oh. Fuck her.
only made 86 cents.
Do you know how much I made off that video? Not $1 fucking dollar. Because YouTube's third-party claim system is fucking horseshit.
Now, Grade goes on to say that he made $0 off of his video because of YouTube's content claim system. And
no, third-party claim system. You see, there's a difference there. What actually probably happened there, which is what Grade A is talking about, is that a third party claimed his video. That means YouTube's content ID system didn't get him, which would be a first party claim, but rather someone else basically targeted his video and took it. Whether that was a reactor or that was a musical artist, that means someone might have manually put in a monetization claim, and it's very easy to, again, make the argument that Grade A's video would be targeted and not Tyrone's, because Grade A's video is in the full YouTube screen, while Tyrone is in a small corner to the bottom left of the camera, basically meaning that they have a easier chance of avoiding the content ID system, or even really avoiding any sort of automatic system. And if it was an automatic system, all Tyrone has to do is a few minor edits to actually fix that, and making the screen smaller and to the bottom left is one of them. Also, Tyrone did tell Grade A that he was pretty much making money off of it. So you can't really make the argument that he wasn't. I don't think you understand how YouTube works.
That his video was claimed by somebody else, yet he's saying that Tyrone made money off of his video, and that's wrong. Well, there's a logical fallacy there. If Grade's video got caught for some copyrighted content, then why wouldn't have Tyrone's gotten flagged for the same thing?
Because he's a larger channel? Well, no, he wasn't. But Tyrone generally makes a lot more views, and YouTube tends to be a little bit more lenient the bigger your channel is. Not to mention, he does something to the audio. He makes it a little bit, quieter than the actual Grade A's version. And again, there's a lot of things he can do and did do to make it less likely to trip up a content ID system.
Now, there are reasons why sometimes one video will get flagged and not another, but it would be interesting if Tyrone would step forward and show proof of how much money he made off that video. Now, that
you're actually kind of biting yourself in the ass here, because you actually do try to make the argument here that he doesn't need to present that information, and that it would be, and I quote, interesting if he presented that information. Just keep on listening.
said, Tyrone still has the right to his privacy, so he doesn't have to disclose this if he doesn't want to. Although
he doesn't have to disclose this if he doesn't want to. Remember this.
As we see later, Grade A actually wanted the video to stay up on YouTube, even though he felt it was violating his copyrighted work, which is...
Okay, now let's quickly attack this argument. First off, she isn't, Grade A wasn't, again, mad that the video was up. He was mad that he wasn't profiting off of his own work. And the fact that he was third-party claiming his video just meant that he was trying to make money. You know, a lot of those Vine videos that you see on YouTube, a lot of those people who make those Vines actually do third-party claim those videos so they can make money off of it. In fact, most Viners make their money off of third-party claims. Same thing goes to music. For some AMVs that exist on the internet, they'll get a third-party claim, and the original musicians and people like Disney will make the money off of that video, despite it really shouldn't be up there because they're violating copyright. But some people would prefer to make money and leave the video up than simply not. It's just simple statistics. If someone re-uploaded one of my videos and it made a lot of views, I'd think I'd rather make the money off of that video than just take it down. Is that so wrong to want to make money off of my own work?
Interesting.
The video that Tyrone made using my stolen video absolutely, undeniably made hundreds of dollars.
That's not true. Where's the proof?
I can guarantee you that based off of every other channel on YouTube, it at least made $100. No, some channels are so unfortunate enough, like, for example, if you're an animation channel and you only produce, like, one animation every couple of months, your video might only make about $100 per 100,000 views. But most, if not all channels, most channels do not hit a CPM of below $1. And CPM below $1 is, again, reserved for the animation channels, not channels that produce over 7 videos a day.
You can't just say that. Where is the proof?
So if I didn't get any of that fucking money it generated, where do you think it went?
No, that doesn't mean it went to Tyrone.
Actually, it does. You see, the way that YouTube works is that you don't make money off of the... Again, if I got 300,000 views and then someone did a third-party claim on me, I would have been able to keep the money that those previous views garnered. But all the views after the third-party claim, that's when they start making money. So basically, those 300,000 views that he made, he got to keep any revenue that was made off of that.
You don't even have proof that Tyrone made any money off of this video.
It was monetized, and he's a channel with 600,000 subscribers. I make fucking $10 off of 5,000 views. You can shut your fucking mouth.
Chances are he might have, and it would be nice if he would step forward with that information, but we can't just assume, and we certainly can't assume how much he made, even using a good rule of thumb, because as we've seen, reaction channels make less than other channels on YouTube.
Okay, you know what? Can I go put this to rest? We're gonna use Social Blade. Now, Social Blade isn't the end-all, be-all of YouTube, but it can give you a rough park estimate of how much a channel has made, or at least give you the lowest common denominator of what they made. So, let's look up Tyrone Magnus here. Alright. Why don't we quickly go onto Tyrone Magnus's Social Blade here. I would like you guys to kind of see some info. Alright, this is Tyrone Magnus's Social Blade, and I'm sorry for that quick jump cut. I tried to explain this before, but I kind of fucked it up. Alright, first off, Tyrone Magnus makes made about 12 million views in the last month. And now, the way that you're supposed to use Social Blade is that depending on what month it is, you generally make a little bit less than half of what their estimate is for you. But of course, it could be different for every channel. He could easily be making $51,000. He could be making more. He could be making less. But generally speaking, you're never, and I'm going to say this real quickly, they never make less than $3,000. He's probably not making less than that. Okay, first off, even if he's making $3,000 off of 12 million views, that is a lot of fucking money, and that is a really low CPM. So we're going to estimate that he made anywhere from $20,000 to $15,000 in the last month off of his channel, fucking easily. And that's after the network takes their cut. On top of that, you got to think about YouTube Red and all that jazz. You can kind of see... Off of 400,000 views in a single day, he made anywhere from $100 to $1,700. You kind of see what I'm saying here? There's no fucking way he didn't make any amount of money, and there's no fucking way that he made anywhere less than $100 off of that video. Which is fucking horseshit. So let's go back to the video and quickly just do this before my brain commits ritual suicide on itself.
And if there's any evidence, hard proof, proving otherwise, I would love to see it so I can make a correction to that statement. But until I have that proof, that's what the evidence points to.
So
No, it's not what the evidence points to. Just fucking look them up on Social Blade.
only is it copyright infringement, but it's some seriously shady, predatory shit. It's an illegal, get-rich-quick, fuck others over so I can steal from them style of video.
You can't just say it's illegal. And in fact, you may be slandering Tyrone by accusing him of illegal acts. If you
That's not quite how. Oh my god, fucking hell, these faces I pause on. But first off, slander doesn't quite work that way. Slander is making a accusation without any evidence that leads to a defame in character. That's not what they did. He's basically saying that he thinks that he's stealing his videos and he thinks that it's fucking illegal, and that's all of his opinion, and he has every right to hold that opinion because he provides reasonable evidence to assume that. That's not slander, that's just him calling and stating his own opinion. I mean, if you really want to make slander mean what you want it to mean, you could always just say, hey guys, look, you know what, you're stupid. Oh no, I slandered you and it's defaming your character. I wanna fuck your mom. But in general, it's just not quite how it's gonna work out here. Slander doesn't work like that, and saying something's illegal, even in your opinion, is okay to do. You're basically trying to police his speech, and I can't really say I agree with that. But if he is indeed infringing on his copyrights, and if he is indeed stealing people's videos, he has every right to think and claim that it is doing that. Even if he is wrong, he has every right to claim it.
You truly felt it was illegal, what you needed to do was file a DMCA takedown notice. And
or a third-party content, a third-party monetization claim. You see, some people, as I said before, like to make money off of their own content, and if someone else uploaded on their channel got widely more popular, some people would prefer to make the money off that video and then just let them keep it up. It doesn't hurt their channel, and in general, all it does is take away their ability to make money off of the video.
if Tyrone sent a counter notification, you would need to go to court to defend what you're saying, that what he's doing is illegal. You would start a
Actually, in a third-party monetization claim thing, Tyrone could send a counter notification to the third-party claim, and then it could go into a DMCA takedown after that. But instead, he just took down the video and didn't fight for his right to lead the video up and monetized. You see, the issue here, he basically tried to fuck him over no matter which way you look at it. He didn't think the video was fair use enough to argue, or at least he didn't think the video was legal enough to argue that it should stay up on his channel and he should keep the money from it. Instead, he removes the video so that he doesn't risk the strike because he knows he's going to lose a copyright battle when it comes to that video.
lawsuit. And let me back that up for you. Can YouTube determine copyright ownership? No. YouTube isn't able to mediate rights ownership disputes. When we receive a complete takedown notice, we remove the content as the law requires.
That's actually incorrect here. YouTube is a business. They aren't really required to abide by a copyright ruling system. Now, they can't claim that a video is or is not copyright. That is right. They legally cannot. However, YouTube can assist in a lot of situations that are clearly against copyright. For example, if I were to re-upload a video, YouTube as a business has the right to just take down the video or deny someone their spot on their channel. On top of that, YouTube has the right to really take off anyone who they feel is violating their terms of service. If YouTube honestly wanted to, they could kick off Jinx, CJ is Cool, Tyrone, anyone really, and it wouldn't be against law. They have every right to take them off their website because they feel what they're doing is simply wrong. And that's what a lot of YouTubers are arguing. That YouTube should take a stance and remove these people who are blatantly stealing content because that's all it is. Instead of letting it go to court and letting them constantly steal people's shit, they should take action themselves and just take them off the website. Because even if by some fucked up definition they are fair use, YouTube has the right to declare what they want on their website and what they don't. Unless if it's a big movie company who can... Oh my god, someone's fucking calling me. Duh. Unless if they are a big channel or a big group and they don't want their content on there. YouTube can take content off, and anyone who has a copyright can take content off, but yeah, you get the picture.
When we receive a valid counter notification, we forward it to the person who requested the removal.
YouTube does nothing about channels that routinely steal videos like this. YouTube doesn't give a fuck.
That's because YouTube legally can't.
Actually, you're wrong. YouTube is a website that has business autonomy. Now, what you guys don't quite understand here, which is the point I tried to explain before, but I decided to cut out of the video, YouTube is a business, and they can take people off their website at will. They could take me off for whatever reason they want. They could say, fuck that creepy reading, I don't like him, I don't like the content he produced, I think he's corrupting the minds of children, and they could remove me. On top of that, they could remove these people who are repeat offenders easily because they are blatantly stealing videos. In fact, they do take off some people who constantly re-upload movies, and they ban them forever. In fact, they've banned AdSense accounts for suspected bottings on occasion, which is why some people want networks. But YouTube as a company has the right to basically take down or remove anyone from their website that they want to. They aren't legally able to preside which person is in the right on fair use, but they have the right to decide who uses their website and who doesn't by banning IPs and removing the ability to monetize from specific channels.
In fact, as you just said yourself earlier in this video, YouTube's Content ID claim system can actually be abused to take money from channels who should be earning it, like yours. So on one hand, you're saying YouTube should do more, but when YouTube does more, you're saying that they're doing it wrong.
Because they are. Now, why don't we use this in a different context? Why don't we use an analogy? We want police officers to remove criminals off the street, but when they remove criminals, they're all black people who didn't do anything wrong. So on one hand, you're mad that they're doing more, but you're also mad that they're not doing their job right. You see how the issue is here? YouTube could actually take a step forward and remove these people and stop the content theft and stop the thievery. But they are not, and that's the big issue here. YouTube does more, and it hurts innocent people. YouTube does less, and they're not getting rid of the repeat offenders. That's the issue. Cops aren't getting rid of the people that should be getting rid of. Instead, they're going after innocent people. You see, that argument just doesn't work at any fucking level. God, my brain wants to kill itself.
Go and put my third-party claim in, right? So now I'm the one earning money from it. So after my third-party claim is in and Tyrone is no longer the one earning money from my video, guess what he does? The video that I made that is now earning me money, he deletes it. As far as Tyrone Magnus is concerned, if he can't benefit from my hard work, then nor will I.
I'm going to come back to this insult in just a minute. But to address what Grade A just said, there's...
You don't need to come back to an insult. It's an insult. It's an ad hominem attack. It means absolutely nothing and doesn't contribute to his argument, therefore doesn't contribute to your argument.
Apparently no winning with him. He's mad when the video is up, he's mad when it's taken down.
He's mad that the guy profited off of his video, and when he tried to make some of his own money back, he removed it and prevented him from instituting a DMCA claim. You see, the issue here is that it's not that he had the video up, it's that he tried to make as much money as possible, and then when someone else is making money, he removed it. Which is basically like spitting in the face of the person who did it. And You see, another big issue is, instead of fighting for the video's right to remain up, because he could have fought the counter notification, he could have tried to make it go to court and tried to argue fair use, because if it was fair use, that's what he should do. He basically says, fuck it, no, I'm just gonna remove the video because fuck people.
He says the Content ID claim system is broken, but then he tries to use it himself. And while it's probably educational,
the Content ID system is broken, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to use it. And you see, when anyone's able to use a Content ID system, and when anyone's able to claim a video, that leads to some broken elements. But if you're using the tool for what it's supposed to be used, you know, that's kind of why the tool was invented. For example, if I used a wrench to kill someone, you could say that wrench is broken because it's not doing its intended purpose. But you also can't call it the guy who's also using the wrench to bolt, you know, wrench things.
Speculation that Tyrone took down the video because it would no longer benefit him, it still hurts him to take down the video. Even if he wasn't making money from it, it was still driving traffic to his channel, at least.
Actually, that's incorrect. Removing that video would have very little impact on what Tyrone's actual statistics are. For example, even if he removed a video with 300,000 views on it, he would still, on average, make at least 93,000 views in return that still generate traffic towards his channel. It doesn't affect him at all, in fact. It may mean that people who are looking for his reaction no longer can get it from him, but the amount of damage that would do is minor. Very minor, in fact. Because, as we said before, he's able to upload over 7 videos a day. So removing 1 out of the 7 videos you had on your channel isn't going to affect you much because you still got 6 other videos generating traffic.
That's what you said earlier in the view when you said that he would be getting the traffic and you weren't. Isn't that correct? So
it's not about the traffic, it's about the money he's making. He's profiting off of someone else's video. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but yes, he's profiting off someone else's video, and instead of people going to Grade A to watch a video, instead they're going back to Tyrone, and that just doesn't work.
Still hurt him to take it down. And frankly, on your video where you weren't making the money, why didn't you dispute your copyright claim?
You don't understand, do you? One, even if you dispute it, it's gonna take over 3 months to resolve. If someone wanted to be really stubborn with a Content ID claim, they could basically reject it, you would get a strike, you would be stuck to uploading only 15-minute long videos, you might get your monetization revoked, and you might have to deal with a lot of fucking issues. But even so, he could have disputed it, and it would still take him 3 weeks, and the video, if you go to Grade A's channel, isn't that old, meaning it could still be going through the process of getting it, well, back on. It could take over a month sometimes.
Get the frustration around all of this, but it's misplaced. You're directing your...
Wait a minute. Remember when she said that you need to show proof for all of this? Where the fuck is your proof that he didn't dispute it? Where the fuck is your proof that he, you know, again, fucking didn't actually try to get rid of it? You see, you're applying standards to people that shouldn't be, you know, whatever, fuck it.
Frustration at Tyrone when it should be directed at the system.
No, it should be directed at Tyrone. You see, Tyrone stole his video, made money off of it, and that was all of Tyrone's thing. Now, the system may not be able to take care of Tyrone, but in the end, Tyrone was still the perpetrator of the actual fucking issue. Meaning that Tyrone is the one responsible for it, and Tyrone is a part of the problem. So he has every right to be mad at the person abusing the system.
What a fucking class act Tyrone is, right?
So you just called him what? And you're calling him a class act?
He's calling him a class act not because of the insults, which you're gonna claim later on. He's a class act because he took his video and then removed it as soon as it was not benefiting him.
I put my third-party claim in days before he deleted the video. So you tell me why you think Tyrone really deleted that video. Because he has my best interests at heart? Or was it because he wasn't profiting from his diss video anymore and because he couldn't give two shits about me getting paid from the video that I made?
Totally fair point. It does seem a little coincidental. But can I ask why, when in the rest of this video you've included proof of everything you're saying, you didn't include proof of when you initiated that claim? That would.
Why does he need to include proof of when he initiated that claim? All he needs to do is say he made the claim. I mean, it's not unfair to... Okay, first off, there's a law that's in place that states that for every claim, there needs to be, like, evidence that supports it if it's extraordinary. But is it really too hard to assume that someone who's pissed off at reactionists might put in a third-party claim when someone reacts to one of their videos? I mean, is it really that hard to assume that someone who's made over like 50 minutes of rants about these people would try to make a little bit money off their own work? Is that just too hard to... I mean, why does he need to include proof of that, but Tyrone doesn't need to include proof of how much money he's making?
I've really backed up your case.
Okay, first of all, Tyrone has some pretty nice things to say about me.
Which is everything that he's doing. I'm not slinging no mud at him at all. Oh my God, he's such a low-level intelligence person. He's a faceless coward. You're a horrible person. I mean, truly, you know, you are the scum of the earth.
Okay, if you're going to call out Tyrone for insulting you, how are you going to neglect mentioning the fact that you ripped him a new one in your Twitch stream? Look, I don't know if I'll have time to edit an entire insult montage of the things that you said about Tyrone, but look at this. These are
Oh my God, I totally can read those timestamps. But I would also like to state that it doesn't really matter about the insults. The insults are not a part of this video. Now, he may be pissed off at him for the insults that Tyrone threw at Grade A, but in the end, that's not a part of the argument. That's not what this girl should be talking about, this quote-unquote news reporter should be talking about. Instead, we should be talking about, is it fair for these reactionists to remain on YouTube, basically re-uploading content with nothing added to them but their face in the corner watching the video?
literally timestamps of every single point in your Twitch stream where you were insulting him. I counted 37 insults here, and they were really nasty. And this is where...
Again, it doesn't fucking matter if the insults were nasty or not. If someone's insulting someone else, it's meaningless, and it means absolutely nothing until something is proven or, like, there's an actual dispute. I could be really pissed off at, say, King Spook. Just so you know, King Spook is a good friend of mine. But I could be really pissed off on him. I could be like, King Spook, you're a fucking fagtard. And me calling him a fagtard wouldn't matter to really anyone. And I mean anyone at all, but King Spook himself. I mean, you can't really take sides here when both sides are slinging mud, because in reality, it's just fucking mud and it can be washed off and it doesn't matter.
You can see, by the way, that Grade A is assuming that Tyrone is making $1 per 1,000 views, which is the estimate we generally use across YouTube.
Because that's usually the lowest amount of CPM most channels will ever get. Most channels don't make less than $1 per monetized view. Isn't that right, Slifer the Sky Dragon? Isn't that right? You fucking obliterate him! I got trap cards in my hand! I summon thee! Brain cells are still gone. I don't even know what the fuck I am doing anymore. But you see the point here. It doesn't really matter.
I want to point out again that this is an assumption and there's no proof to back it up. And then Grade A goes...
There's no proof to back it up. It's just... That's what no channel makes less than $1 CPM unless you're one of the shittiest fucking channels on YouTube.
Goes on to focus on the system.
One of my issues is that reaction channels don't ask for permission. And when you're a reaction channel and you don't ask for permission, it is fucking certain that reaction channels will be breaking copyright law, as showing the entire video as opposed to little snippets here and there completely goes against the fair use policy.
That is...
Actually, no. Grade A, you're kind of wrong on that. Showing the entire video is not necessarily bad. It depends on how long the video is, how much of the reaction you're giving, what you're adding to it, if you're pausing it, if you're cutting it up, if you're editing it. Now, if you're directly re-uploading the video, that is definitely against fair use, and that's what these people are doing. Basically re-uploading the video with their face in it. They're not pausing it, they're not editing it. But showing the entire video is not technically against fair use law. And it really, again, does depend on the factors that go into the video in question.
Not true. As I mentioned before, fair use exists specifically so that people don't need permission in certain cases. It's always better to play it safe and get permission, but you don't necessarily need it because, as I mentioned earlier, in cases of news reporting, you often don't have time to get permission while keeping your commentary timely. And two, if you're going to be criticizing somebody, a lot of times they won't grant you permission. So I understand your beef with the copyright issues on this, but to say that he had to get your permission in order to not be breaking
You see, okay, first off, I don't think you kind of understand where GradeAUnderA is coming from. He's mad that, again, there was a re-upload of his video. He's not treating this as a reaction. He's treating this as a re-upload of his video with some guy's fucking face in the corner. And that's what he has the real issue to. See, because, again, not treating it as a reaction.
Copyright law is false.
And not respecting copyright is breaking a YouTube community guideline.
No, there's a problem there because community guidelines are totally separate from copyright guidelines. You could get 3 copyright strikes and 3 community guideline strikes, which are for things like showing nudity, etc. They are completely separate, so you could actually get 6 strikes before having your channel removed.
Actually, that's incorrect. As soon as you get a 3rd strike, your channel's just automatically terminated. That's how it generally works. Here's the second thing I would like to inform you about. From what I've heard, now I cannot prove this without a doubt, but my friend actually did have an issue recently where he got 2 community guideline strikes and 1 copyright strike, and his channel was removed. So from what I can gather, any strike counts towards the termination and removal of features on your channel. Strikes are strikes, and they will remove your channel. So it's best to just trust community guidelines and copyright. Copyright strikes are easier to get, and community guideline strikes are a little bit harder to get. But in the end, they both have the 3-tick counter, and it doesn't matter what strike you get, you could get your channel removed. Now, if I am wrong on this, you can go slap me in the face and tell me in the comment section, and I will fully admit that I'm wrong on this. But I've known some channels that have been removed over 2 community guideline strikes and 1 copyright strike, and vice versa.
Or 5, depending on the timeline of things. And it's because of the sloppiness in thinking there that I'm making a video like this, because
I could call your fucking thinking sloppy too. Again, you don't understand what fair use is. You don't understand how this really correlates with each other. You can't understand the basic context of what he's saying, and you fucking misrepresented his argument. Remember before when he said these people don't put fucking effort into their videos, and she followed it up by, well, what is a reaction? That's not... God! Fucking hell, you're sloppy thinking. It's killing my brain cells. They are, like, dying slowly. Now, again, I would like to say that I have nothing against you. If you happen to make it this far into my video, I do commend you, and thanks for actually hearing me out. And even if I am over-exaggerating on some of these things, you generally should be able to get my point I'm trying to make, even if I am a little hyperbolic about it. But in general, you are just doing a terrible job representing the arguments. And I don't think you have... I'm just gonna fucking continue the video because I want to fucking cut my foot off trying to explain this. I feel like I'm talking to a 4-year-old.
I want people to be informed and not just take this rant video at face value.
The 3rd condition is raped by reaction channels because they show the entire copyrighted video. You can't get more substantial than that.
That's a...
Grade A under A, the only issue that I have of his argument there is that he should have included a stipulation, the entire video, unedited, unchanged, no commentary, just a blank expression.
Problem 2. You're focusing on the entire video, which is the most egregious case. However, what defines how much of a video you can use? What if you just trim one frame off the video? What if
10%. Typically, if less than 10% of your own, basically you have to, in order for it to be classified fair use by remix, 10% of the original content is the maximum you're allowed to use if it's fair use by remix. But if you're actually adding something to it, which these people aren't doing. They are not adding any sort of commentary, criticism. They are watching the video, and as we explained earlier, the absence of a reaction is not a reaction. It's the default position.
if you trim 1 second, 10 seconds, 10 minutes? Where do you draw the line? The bottom line is that you can't, and that's why a court case has to decide. And that's why if you truly believe that somebody has done something to wrong you to this extent, you need to pursue your options legally.
First off, that's fucking brilliant. Those fucking faces I pause on. First off, it can cost over $20,000 to pursue a court case, and even more if they live out of country. Because not only would he have to indict this Tyrone person to the United Kingdom, which is where I assume he's living, he would also have to pay for his stay and have to pay thousands of dollars, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars for a video that generally won't be able to make that much money and be able to return it. Pursuing your options legally will be impossible with today's standards unless if your video is making enough money to warrant such a copyright battle.
Rather than just making a video about it. Although, I certainly don't blame you for bringing these issues to light, as these are extremely important issues.
I do not like the Fine Brothers at all. I think they're bug-eyed cunts they tried to trademark a word.
Okay, once again, I have to stop and make a correction in the logic here. He's ridiculing the Fine Brothers for trademarking a word, but...
Okay, you are fucking misunderstanding the point again. Trademarks are, yes, trademarks by fucking words, and that's what they are. Trademarks usually trademark a word or phrase, but trademarks don't typically constitute nebulous terms. You cannot trademark the word creepy and then claim anything that is creepy is yours. That's what the Fine Bros did. They copyrighted a nebulous term. And on top of that, when you copyright a trademark, I'm being stupid, I'm using my words incorrectly. When you trademark a single word, it has to be an original word that refers to your product exclusively. You cannot trademark a term that is as nebulous as React, and it would never have held up into a court of law if it actually went to a court of law. On top of that, when people trademark things, they usually trademark a phrase or something like that. For example, they'll trademark The Elder Scrolls. I could trademark That Creepy Reading. People don't typically trademark just nebulous terms, and that's what he's talking about. People typically don't trademark a single word unless that word is something made up, fictional, or refers to your product exclusively.
Trademarks exist by definition, in part to trademark words. You don't even have to look into trademark law to see this. You could see this just by
trademark a single word. He's mad that they trademarked a single word.
By going to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Definition of trademark: something such as a word. The fact that they trademarked a word wasn't a problem. It was that they trademarked a word that was overly generic and descriptive. I point this out not to be a stickler about semantics, but because this shows a certain lack of clarity in thinking on this. So before you listen to everything that Grade A...
fucking misunderstanding him. It's really hard to take you seriously, but you are intentionally misunderstanding them. I'm having a hard time believing that you are really understanding the point he's trying to make, because you're trying so hard to be the devil's advocate here. You're trying so hard that you're construing his words to mean something that he didn't intend it to mean. Most people understand that when he said they trademarked a word, that he's talking about a single word that has nothing to do with a product that refers directly to them. Does he need to fucking use a dictionary, describe the definition of every word he fucking uses, and then be overly analytical with the way he talks? No, you're just trying to disagree with him for the sake of disagreeing with him, and that's horseshit.
says at face value, you might want to fact check some of it yourself, and that's what this video is here for. And believe me, I have made several videos on how I feel about the Fine brothers, so I'm not saying this just to defend them. Now for a look at the bigger picture. I get why you were upset, Grade A, and even though I am playing devil's advocate here, there is a lot of merit to what you had to say. I think you are just misdirecting it and cheapening your cause by focusing on individual reactors rather than focusing on the bigger issues with YouTube's copyright system.
Excuse me, everyone's attacked the copyright system. And in order to really start attacking the root of the problem is to be going after the people who abuse the system and to call out the people that make YouTube a worse place to be as a community. Just because you're attacking a single person does not mean that your arguments are less valid because you're not attacking the underlying issue. If someone's wronged you in some way, you have every right to attack them. For example, if an artist copyrights me for a video that I made, does that mean that I have no right to call them out? Does that mean that I have no right to fucking be pissed off at them? Does that mean I have to fucking attack YouTube? Be like, YouTube let this person attack my video over shit they shouldn't have been able to. No, it's the person's fault for abusing it. And that's the general point we'd like to make. When we attack a single individual, we're attacking them for their actions in our community. Now, I think this might be the end of the video, but if it's not, whatever.
Now I'm going to be making a video addressing these issues in depth, and when I do have it, I will link it here. But you actually said in your stream that your goal is to take down all reaction channels.
Probably all reaction channels that are doing what Jinx does. Not people like H3H3. Because I think in the past he's actually said H3H3 is alright, and people like H3H3 is alright.
And the way you're doing it isn't the way to do it. Why don't you make your awesomely funny videos talking about how YouTube's system is broken rather than targeting and focusing on one creator for the majority of a video?
He's targeted Nicole Arbor, he's targeted pranksters, I think he's even talked about Sam Pepper. But yeah, he's targeted more than just people that do that. And I think that targeting individual people does help the issue a little bit because it raises awareness and gets people to stop supporting the fucking assholes who abuse the system.
Up to you how you want to pursue it, but if you're going to focus on one person, money talks and BS walks. Let a court of law decide, because at the end of the day, you and nobody else here watching can say definitively that what Tyrone did wasn't within fair use. I agree.
I can say definitively that what Tyrone did was not in fair use. He does not meet any of the criteria. Now, you could say that the criteria, again, it's something that is used in court of laws to help decide if something's fair use, but when your video does not tick any of the points on the fair use criteria, then you could say that it is blatantly infringing. And although officially it is not against, it's not against him, and there's nothing officially that they have done or is able to do right now until a court case is filed, which cost tens of thousands of dollars, mind you, I'd have to say that without a doubt, he is definitively going against fair use by not offering anything substantial, using the entire video, not editing it, doing absolutely nothing at all.
Agree that he's in a real gray area, and if this was taken to court, I do not think that his defense would hold up. And
he's in a gray area and his defense would not hold up. That's kind of funny.
Everyone is basically banking on people not willing to defend their legal rights. And does anyone
because it costs so much money in order to do it.
Who watches this channel knows I am a staunch advocate of people defending their copyright rights. Now, I understand you live in a totally different country, so starting a lawsuit that you'd have to initiate in California, where YouTube resides, is probably cost prohibitive to you. But unfortunately,
actually, that's not quite how it works. You wouldn't copyright YouTube because YouTube isn't responsible for the person. In fact, you would go for a lawsuit against the person who initiated the copyright takedown. You see, that's the big issue here. You don't even understand who's the fucking person at fault. Oh my god. YouTube is not responsible for anyone getting their video removed because someone else claimed copyright. In fact, if they wanted it to go to, once it actually is for the courts to decide, YouTube typically puts the video back up until the court case is gone through. But again, it costs so much money for it to go, and why would you go after YouTube and not the person who fucking took, oh my god, you're an idiot.
Fortunately, in the long run, these are going to be the costs of doing business on YouTube. Now, when Tyrone releases his video, I will be sure to do commentary like this if it is merited. And if you found this informative, I would encourage you to subscribe so that you can see that video when it's ready.
Okay, so this is the end of the video now. Now I'm at the end of the video. I'm fucking done. I think I lost about 80 brain cells. If you guys are gonna get mad at me for making this, just understand that I did this in my free time, in between videos. I'm waiting for something to render right now, and I kind of did this using OBS, so take that as you will. God, I just feel like shit. This person makes me lose humanity. But if you watch this video, Becky Boop or whatever, I don't fucking know, I don't give a shit anymore. I'd have to say that I have nothing personally against you, but I do feel that you misrepresent a lot of the arguments. You don't know what you're talking about. You're misinformed, and that you do not have any authority to talk on really any of these things. And the fact that you think you're informative is why a lot of people fucking hate this video. If you guys thought I was being too mean, understand that a lot of this stuff I was exaggerating, or I was simply tired, annoyed, and agitated. That doesn't mean that I'm, like, fucking gonna go try to kill her in her sleep or anything, or that I'm even really that mad. A lot of the people do understand what she is saying is bullshit, but for the 5,000 people, or how many people like this? For the 2,000 people that did like this, I think they are incredibly misinformed, and I really wish that this person would have did a little bit more research and actually discovered tools like Social Blade that could have told her that he actually does make quite a bit of money. In fact, he probably makes a lot more money than the average household makes. So, yeah. This has been my only respond video, and if you liked looking at my sexy face, you could always like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see, you know, better videos, you could just click on a different one, go on my channel. I would also like to mention that I will be in the app Horror Amino for the first hour after this is uploaded. I love all of you guys, and the fact that you made it this far really touches my heart. And please let me know if you made it to the end. Seriously, comment right now saying I made it to the NTCR, and you can go shut your fucking whore face mouth. I think you should get your dick cut off and you should castrate a dog in frustration. If you comment that to me, I will give you a spaceship ride to the planet Anus, and I will verbally assault you for 2 hours. This has been your host, That Creepy Reading, signing off.